What's up, fight fans, and welcome back to the Rusty Cage podcast. Ryan Jarrell, Greg Williams here as always. And you see who our special guest for this show is. It's Mr. KGD, Grant Dawson, on the show as we get ready to preview UFC 308 going down this weekend. Can't wait for this card, guys. But first, Grant, what a win over Rafa Garcia, man. Tip of the cap to you. Really impressive performance. So let's just start there, man. Obviously, you didn't just get the win, you got him out of there. That's the first finish you've had in, I believe, 2 years since the Mark Madsen fight. How nice was that to get a finish? Because I know that's what you want to do.
Yeah, man, I don't get paid for overtime, so anytime I can get in there, I want to win. I always want to finish. I don't care if the finish comes 10 seconds into the first round or 10 seconds into the last round. I'm always looking for that finish. I've been criticized of not having the most fan-friendly style. So I think to balance that out is when I do get the takedown and when I do get people on the ground, I really am trying to finish. It's not a lack of pushing for it. It's just these guys are really, really good. Damir Ismagulov was insanely hard to finish. I got him into a full Nelson and was cranking the crap out of his neck, and I still couldn't get him to quit. So it's just a testament to show how much better I've gotten over the years, I believe.
How good did you feel in there in that first round? Did you just feel kind of like the stronger guy in there? Because it kind of looked that way.
Yeah, it was one of those situations where I was really surprised at how easily things were going. It was. I always go into the fight with the mentality of, this is going to be tough. This is going to be difficult. I'm going to get beat up. I'm ready for the bruises. I'm ready for the battle scars. As long as I'm not unconscious, I'm going to keep fighting. So when you hit that first round and it's as easy as it was, you kind of you go back to the corner and you kind of want to be like, all right, dude, like chill. Like, maybe he needs to get warmed up. Maybe he's not feeling it right this round. Just be ready for the next round to be difficult. And I think that's what keeps me sharp. I think I even said to my coaches in between round, I was surprised how much stronger I was than him because he looks like a beefcake.
Yeah. Again, man, what a performance. That was such a good win for you. I was surprised that you didn't crack the top 15, but maybe next time you get another win, you'll be back where you belong. Greg, I know you got some stuff to ask Grant after this big win.
Yeah, well, first of all, congratulations on that win. And I don't know about fan friendly. That was like the most fan friendly fight I've seen because I was on the edge of my seat wanting you to get that finish, and then the celebration afterwards, and then the post fight was very fan friendly, man. That was one of the best post fight interviews I've heard. And what was it like with that reaction from the crowd? Because the crowd went nuts with your post fight reaction. That was fun, man.
Yeah, I think my favorite thing was this crowd when they introduced my name. The crowd was cheering for me and kind of yelling, and I was like, "Huh, that's interesting. Like, do these people actually know me, or are they just cheering for the American?" Either way, I'll take it. And then afterwards, I think I got some real fans under me. So it was definitely something. It was definitely a really good night. Usually after I fight, I have 2, maybe 3 days of feeling really good about myself, and then I kind of go through a little post-fight depression. I don't have purpose anymore. I don't have a schedule that I have to keep. I can eat whatever I want. You get kind of like, man, a little depressed after fights, but not this one, man. I'm 2 weeks out, and I'm still riding the high.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And my next question is, and I've been thinking about this, and I asked this to a couple of fighters, is fighting a job to you or is fighting pure pleasure to you? Because I know, like, I have some passions outside of, the fight game. And it's like, it's so, like, I get so immersed that it's just like my happy place to go. But I know some fighters, it's a job. It's just like I go in there like a workman. Let me ask you about that. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think fighting is my responsibility. I absolutely love what I do. I absolutely adore this game. I love to train, but I think I look at it as it's my responsibility to go out there, to put on the performances no matter how I feel. I fought Mark Madsen. I had the flu fighting Mark Madsen. Horrible weight cut multiple times. My manager wanted to pull me from the fight. And I kept saying to myself, man, this is my responsibility to go out there. I said I was going to do something. I'm going to try to do it. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that I get this done. And what will be will be. So I definitely enjoy what I do. I love training. I absolutely love winning. The actual physical act of fighting is just okay to me, but it is my ability to get out there and say I'm going to do what I said I was going to do.
Awesome. That shows a lot of character.
To follow up what you were saying earlier about the pop that you got, we were walking to the cage before this Garcia fight. I think it was the Vanderbilt baseball team that was there in attendance?
Yeah, it was. And they were very loud for me. Again, I don't even think they knew who I was until after the fight, but I think they heard American versus non-American, I should say, and they cheered for the American, which is really great to see because you don't really see that in MMA. In MMA, it's one of the weird sports where, if you're American, you don't just automatically have fans. If you're in Brazil and you're fighting somebody who's Brazilian and the Brazilian fans have no idea who either of you are, they're going to cheer for the Brazilian just because he's Brazilian. It's not like that in America. If you're American and you're fighting somebody that's not American, they don't usually just cheer for you. It's not how we're built. We're used to competing with each other.
Yeah, that's very true. I was a little disappointed that you didn't get the performance of the night bonus. That must have been even more disappointing for you.
Yeah, Sean Shelby pays me a ridiculous amount of money to fight for 7 minutes or whatever it was. So I can't be too upset about it. But I really felt good about getting that performance. It was more so I definitely wanted the money, but it was more so being able to be like, look, I'm not boring. I've got 3 performance of the night bonuses, and I've only got 2 now. So it would have been nice to add another one.
Well, Greg, you and I were talking about this before the interview started, but they really should have an MOTN bonus, a Mike of the Night performance bonus, because you clearly would have won that, man. You got a whole bunch of new fans after, just how funny and just kind of authentic you were on the mic afterwards. Was that planned?
So it was yes and no. It was definitely planned. I didn't rehearse it a whole lot. I'm always thinking about MMA. Every second of the day, if I'm awake, I'm thinking about something related to MMA. And so I go through what I'm going to say when I win a bunch of times. I have 6 different things that I wanted to say depending on how the fight went. I don't think I would have said that if I had won a split decision. I don't think I would have said that if I had won a unanimous decision. I think I have certain outcomes in my head and I go from there.
Greg, you got anything else for Grant about this win over Garcia?
Yeah, I just want to ask a kind of a personal question. Like, how much crap did your wife give you, if any? Because her reaction was great. Like she reacts like my wife reacts when I do something really stupid. Like, and not that that was stupid, that was awesome. But my wife reacts like, "Oh God, here he goes again." She expects it. She knows me. That's kind of the reaction I got saw from her. How much crap did she give you?
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a little bit of crap, but she's a tough cookie, and she understands my sense of humor. She knows how much I absolutely love her, how much I adore everything about her. So, she's really good at not taking things personal and understanding that it was a joke that I actually meant, but a joke, and weirdos and creeps are gonna message her no matter what I do. So it doesn't really matter. She's good at kind of that off. So not too much. She did kind of smack me upside the head a little bit, just like, hey, come on, man. But for the most part, she really loved it.
I'll just say I think it really got across. The love and respect for her got across big time, and the relationship. Like it was refreshing to see that. Refreshing to see. What I saw was a really strong relationship, and that's awesome, man.
Yeah, I've said this before too. I think everybody is getting a little tired of the bad guy shtick. I think everybody's getting a little tired of the talking trash, and then as soon as the fight's over, they come out and say, "No, I didn't mean a word of it. I was just trying to sell the fight." I really feel like since Conor McGregor's done, people are just tired of that. You got Sean O'Malley who does a really good job of it. You have your outliers, but then it's just like everybody else sounds so cringy. So like, I think people are sick of it. I think they want some, genuine, somebody who's genuine. I'm not a trash talker. I'm a truth talker. If I mean it, I'll say it. If I don't mean it, I won't say it.
Love it.
Yeah, me as well. Grant, tell me what is next for Elle in her fighting career? I know she fought recently. I don't think that fight turned out the way that you guys wanted it to. What's the plan for her moving forward?
She was scheduled to fight in December. Some personal health reasons have come up that she's not going to be able to compete in December. So the number one goal right now is just to get her healthy, get her back into the gym, training full time like she was before, and then go from there. So right now it's kind of her career is kind of on hold, and we're exhausting all of our efforts to get her back to being healthy and being able to train 100%.
Was she affected in her most recent performance? Was she not 100% herself?
I'll let her divulge that information, whether it is or not.
Okay, fair enough. Let's talk about what's next for you. Obviously, you've made it very clear you want to be back in the top of the division, which I feel like you made a big statement in beating Garcia, showing that you deserve to be there. I just checked again before the interview. You're not in the top 15 yet. RDA's 15. Patty is 14. What do you think is next for you? When would you like to fight? Do you have someone on your tongue that you like to call out?
Yeah, I originally called out Jakar Close, but he's set to fight in Tampa, Florida. So if him or his opponent back out, I'd love to step in for that. I'd like the winner of him and who's he fighting? The other 6 foot dude 6'3" dude who isn't Jalen Turner. I just saw it. Mexican dude. I cannot remember his name.
He's got a funny last name, right? Bahamondes?
No. Alvarez. Joel Alvarez.
Alvarez.
That's his name. He's fighting Joel Alvarez. Both guys super dangerous. Both guys, top of the line. It kind of sucks, but I do think that the winner of that fight is going to get ranked. I think that RDA is going to lose his next fight against Jeff Neal, and I hope he retires or says something where they take him out of the rankings. And I think the winner of that fight will get ranked. So I would like the winner of that fight. If not, I'd love to fight Jalen Turner. If not him, I'd love to fight Nasrat, BSD, the whole 9 yards, man. Anybody that doesn't have an ATT next to the name, the answer is most likely yes, if I have time to make the weight.
Greg, what would you like to see next for my man Grant here?
Whatever he wants, man. I think, I mentioned it before the interview with Mike Brown. After speaking to him at a dinner a few months back, told me Grant Dawson's going to be a champ someday. He said it not specifically to me, but to the table. And I believed him when he said it. I think you're going to be a champ one day. So I just want to keep taking top 10 guys, keep taking down top 10 guys. Anybody with like you said, not ATT, but with a number with a single digit in front of to the left of their name. That's why I want to see him fight.
Yeah, me as well, Grant. The future is bright for you, no doubt. As far as the time frame goes, are you thinking like springtime? Because if Jakar, if they're fighting here at Tampa, that's December. So what are we thinking? Maybe March?
It doesn't matter. If you give me enough time, I need 8 weeks to make weight. So if you give me 8 weeks, I don't care what the date is. The answer is yes.
Okay.
If it was up to me, I'd fight 4, 5, 6 times a year. I don't really celebrate holidays. Christmas is the only holiday I acknowledge as a real holiday. I don't take time off. I don't go on vacations, to the very big detriment of my wife. She definitely loves to go on vacations, and I'm not a vacation guy. I don't really go to the beach. I train. I play Yu-Gi-Oh, and that's about it, man. Like, give me a fight. If I have the time to make the weight, the answer is yes.
Okay. I do want to ask you about one of the guys that's in the top 15, a teammate of yours, Money Moicano. I freaking love him. Obviously, he's a great fighter, but he's hysterical. He's one of my favorite guys to watch on YouTube. What is it like having him around? What is he like in person to have as a teammate?
Exactly what you see is exactly what you get. I think one of the reasons why Moicano's persona is taking off and somebody like Colby Covington's didn't was because Moicano means every word that he says. You got a guy like, if Moicano was a salesman and Colby Covington was a salesman, I would feel way better buying a car from Moicano because you can tell he's genuine about what he says. You might not like what he says and you might not agree with what he says, but you can tell that he believes what he says.
Yeah, that he's someone that I feel like another guy that could be a champion one day. How difficult is that when you have someone that you're close with that's a teammate that you're like, geez, man, we keep rising up at the same time. I mean, there's a chance, the UFC could potentially match you guys up down the line. Is that something that is ever discussed in the gym?
Not really. The UFC can only make you do what you agree to do. If they said the winner of this fight gets a title shot, and I'm sure Moicano and I would both agree that okay, we can put our friendship aside to look at that. But if it's just a fight where I win and Moicano's career gets delayed by 2 years, he wins, my career gets delayed by 2 years for nothing,
Yeah.
then it's really not worth it to me. Moicano has helped me a lot get better. I've helped him get better. We're friends. I'm literally going to his house tomorrow for fights and stuff. So I don't see that happening unless it's something big on the line.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Well, Grant, I can't wait to see you back in the cage whenever that is. Looking forward to another big win for yourself here and keep climbing the ladder. Let's transition to 308, guys. I don't know if you are both as excited as I am, but I am so pumped for this card. I mean, the main event and the co-main event, these fights are just massive. All the fans, I think, not just the hardcores, but the casuals too. They're going to be tuning into this because it's marquee names. So let's start with the main event. Topuria Holloway. It's for the featherweight title. The champ is actually a fairly sizable favorite, minus 230. The former champion Max Holloway plus 195. Grant, let me start with you, man. What do you think we're going to see here in this featherweight title fight showdown?
Yeah, I mean, gun to my head, I got to go with Topuria just because, and the only reason, just because, is he beat the guy that beat the guy he's fighting 3 times. So that's the only real reason. And one thing I will say is we've seen Max in this position before. He loses to Volkanovski, and then he has a fight against Kelvin Cater where we said, and myself included, said that is the best fighter at 145 pounds, and nobody is beating that Max Holloway. If you remember the fight with Kelvin Cater, broke so many records, looked incredible, looked untouchable. And then he fights Volkanovski again, and he got absolutely destroyed in that rematch. So we've seen this before where he's coming off of this big Gaethje win, incredible knockout, unbelievable. Nobody beats that Max Holloway. To, are we going to see the same thing that we saw before? So we've seen this before. I would not be the only scenario that I would be surprised in this fight is if Max Holloway submitted Ilia Topuria. I can see every other single outcome. I could see Topuria decision, knockout, submission. I could see Max Holloway knockout, TKO, decision. So it's one of those fights where it's so hard to pick. But if you put a gun to my head and you say you have to pick somebody, I'm picking Ilia Topuria to stay undefeated.
Okay, fair enough. Greg, yeah, you just went unmuted, so I was going to tell you, I didn't know if you knew that, but what do you think we're going to see here in this title fight?
Yeah, can't really disagree too much with what you say, but I'm going to go with Holloway. I think here's the thing with we have three undefeated fighters on the top of this card, right? And my thought and my thing is, I think all three of those are going to get their first losses to more experience, obviously. And I think Holloway will submit him. I think that's where my money is. It's probably going to pay pretty good because I like to go to DraftKings, and that's going to be where my money's going to be at a Holloway submission. So yeah, that's my thing. I think the three O's like Topuria, Chimaev, and who was it? Magomedov, I think they're all going to lose. So I'll start with that one right now and say Holloway by submission.
Wow, you really think so? He only has 2 submission victories in his whole career. You think he's going to so I'm with Grant on this one. Like I feel like if he wins, it's either decision or TKO.
I'm going buzz and sub. He's going to buzz him up, jump his back, and sub him.
Wow. The odds on that must be nuts. Like if
I hope so, man. I hope so, and I hope he does it because buy a new car or something. I like to take chances, man. I love it.
Okay, yeah.
Fight game's beautiful.
I'll be pulling for it. I would love to see that happen. And Greg, you know me really well. I do a really good job of being objective, especially in this world, because I interview a lot of the fighters like Grant, and
Yeah.
and, and I pride myself in being objective. But at the end of the day, I'm a fan too, and I love Max Holloway. I feel the same way about Robert Whitaker, so I'm cheering for both of them. I fully understand how dangerous of a fight this is. I feel like this is going to go to a decision. I think Max Holloway, we know how good his chin is. We know how tough he is. He can take a shot. And I think he can take Tapuria's best shots. And I think what I'm really interested to see is Tapuria's gas tank from someone that doesn't go away, from someone that keeps coming, that keeps, throwing heavy volume, punches and bunches. We know Max Holloway is going to bring the fight to him as well. So I'm curious to see what Tapuria's gas tank looks like in the fourth and fifth round. This is going to be a really different fight than Josh Emmett. Max Holloway is a different fighter than, all due respect to Josh Emmett, but I think that's the interesting part for me. Rounds 4 and 5, is Max going to be picking up steam and Tapuria fading, or is Tapuria still going to be right there? What do you think when I say that, Grant?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to deny what you're saying when you have somebody whose gas tank is as good. The issue is we've seen this in the past where Max Holloway's gas tank doesn't help him as much as you would think it would against power punchers. Guys like Dustin Poirier, guys like Justin Gaethje even. Yes, of course, he looked amazing in that fight, but we didn't see the volume that we normally see from him in that fight because he didn't want to get countered as much. So that is something that's very interesting to me, and especially moving down the weight class. I know he's normally a 45er, but he's a big 45er, and I wonder if that that cut is going to get to him with somebody who's as powerful as Ilia Topuria, somebody who's going to be, I would hope, using all of his aspects of the game, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and his amazing boxing, mixing that up. The one thing that I will say that I feel like Max Holloway has a big advantage here, and I would hope to see him use it, is his kicks. Ilya is very, very heavy on his lead leg. Max has thrown a lot of kicks in his time, threw a lot of kicks against Justin Gaethje. Not super powerful kicks, but a lot of kicks nonetheless. I think attacking that lead leg would really help Max Holloway in this fight.
Official pick, Grant.
Ilia Topuria.
Decision?
Knockout.
Ooh, okay. All right. We know where you're going, Greg. I'm hedging my bets because I picked Tapuria with my write-up that I did for MMA News. And with you guys, I'm taking Holloway. So I'm a winner either way. Let's move to the co-main event. Robert Whitaker, Khamzat Chimaev. You know where I'm going. I mean, you see my Robert Whitaker walkout hoodie behind me. He's one of my favorite fighters of all time. I still think he's got it. He's only 33 years old. I love his style versus Chimaev. I feel like Rob's going to be able to sprawl and brawl. And, I liked what I saw from what Gilbert Burns did against Chimaev. And I feel like Rob's going to be able to do that and more. And I think if he doesn't finish him late, he's going to win a decision. The one thing for me, guys, that worries me as far as Bobby Knuckles goes is these judges. If this goes the distance, are they going to lean towards Khamzat? That's what worries me. So I'm picking Whitaker, but I'm a little nervous if it does go to a decision. If Rob doesn't TKO him, I'm a little concerned about that. Greg, what do you think about this co-main?
Yeah, like I know how much you love Whitaker, and yeah, that's no doubt. And I'm betting with my heart on this. With the the guy with the 26-7 record. Going against the 13-0, the up-and-comer. So I am going with Whitaker, but I will probably hedge my bet, like you said, by putting a little bit of money on Chimaev by decision in case it does go that way. But I'm going with Whitaker, KO in the third.
Okay, I love it. Grant, where are you leaning?
Yeah, I'm shocked by these odds. I have Whitaker winning, and I have Whitaker winning decisively. Again, I'm very, very disappointed with the odds makers in putting this. I'm not saying that Khamzat Chimaev can't win, but in my head, he can only win one way, and that is by getting him down early and submitting him or knocking him out. So I guess two ways. Knocking him out early. Early is what I meant. I meant to say he can only win one way, and that's early. In a 3-round fight, I would lean more towards Chimaev. He wrestles hard in the first. He looks, good on the feet in the second, and then gets absolutely destroyed in the third. I could see him winning a split decision doing that. This guy, I'm telling you, he gets tired. He slows down. He has a hellacious first round. and then we see him just drop off, and we've also have yet to see him fight a really high level 85er. I believe his only wins at 85 are against 70 pounders and Gerald Mearshart, if I'm not mistaken. So it's kind of like, what makes you guys think that he's going to be able to bully a guy like Robert Whitaker the way he's been able to bully these lower level or smaller guys? And lest we forget, Usman, on I believe a week's notice, arguably won that fight. Got dominated in the first. I thought he won the second. I thought he won the third. Super close rounds. That's an out of shape, no camp 70 pounder. Now we're talking about a guy that's seen it all, fought them all. Yoel Romero, all of these killers. He's not intimidating. He's not scared of you. Is he going to lose round one? Probably. But in a 5-round fight, unless there is a finish by Chimaev, I just don't see how he wins this fight. I'm taking Robert Whitaker. And if I could bet, I'm not betting. If I could bet, I would put a lot of money on Robert Whitaker to win. These lines are absolutely insane to me.
I love it. Love it. And with this being a 5-round fight, I agree with everything you said, Grant. Hopefully it comes to fruition because I want to see Robert get another title shot before he does walk off into the sunset. Let's keep it moving, guys. Dan Ige, Lerone Murphy, Ige plus 245, Murphy minus 290 as the favorite. Grant, what do you think we're going to see here in this bout?
Yeah, I hate betting against Ige because he's such a savage. He's such a cool guy. He's such a anybody, anytime, anywhere type of guy. But dude, Lerone Murphy is just wow. I'm really, really impressed with that guy. I think he is a phenomenal fighter, and he's not. I honestly, I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves. He is a phenomenal fighter. I think that Lerone Murphy is going to stay undefeated, and I really am very excited to see his future in the sport.
Greg?
I think this is the one undefeated fighter that stays undefeated on this on the top of this card. So yeah, I'm going with Lerone Murphy as well. Ige fought my buddy Calvin Kattar. Ige's a savage. But I agree with you. I agree 100% with Grant.
Yeah, Unfortunately, I'm going to make it 3 for 3. I think Murphy does win as well. I feel pretty confident about it. I like the style, the matchup with Ige. As much as I would like to see Ige win, I'm with you guys. I got Murphy. Magomed Ankalaev, Alexander Rakic. This one, I thought the odds would be a little bit closer. I mean, this fight has title implications on the line, especially for Ankalaev. Big favorite. Minus 405 is what I'm seeing right now. Rakic plus 305. Grant, should these odds be closer, or do you feel like Ankalaev is going to dominate this fight?
I absolutely think these odds should be closer. It being in Abu Dhabi with Ankalaev's people and the judges, and come on, man, you know what I'm talking about. You said it yourself with the Khamzat fight. I do think that Ankalaev is going to win this fight. I don't think he's going to blow him out of the water. I think there's going to be a lot of questions about Ankalaev after this fight. I think there's going to be a lot of I don't want to say hate. I don't want to say, I think fans are going to be disappointed in this one. I really do. I think Ankalaev is going to get it because he's a little more well-rounded. He can wrestle. Rakic can wrestle as well. Good striking, very clean, very powerful. I just don't see a big finish happening. And if there is a big finish, I see Rakic doing it. I think it's going to be very, very close. And if this was taking place in America, I would be picking Rakic. But I'm going to go with a split decision win by Ankalaev.
Yeah. And that's the thing, Greg, like what Grant is saying, you really got to take into consideration who's fighting and where they're fighting, because with the judges nowadays, it's just all over the place. You just don't know what you're going to get. So having said that, are you going to side with Grant here? Are you going Ankalaev, or do you feel like Rakic pulls the big upset?
I'm going to disagree with Grant, but I'm going to agree with him that Ankalaev wins, but I'm going to say Ankalaev dominates. That's just where I'm going with that, but and he gets the win. And whether he's propelled by the crowd and his home, like his people pushing him forward, I think he's going to dominate. But I can't wait to see that. It's going to be a really good fight. I think it's going to be a really good fight. It's one of the ones I have circled for be like fight of the night.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's going to be an interesting one. And like I said, very important for title implications, especially for Ankalaev. Petrosian and Magomedov is up next. Magomedov undefeated. small favorite, minus 160 is what I'm seeing right now. Petrosian plus 135 as the underdog. I kind of feel like, I mean, look, I get how good Magomedov is, but he hasn't like overly impressed me. Like, wow, this guy's going to be a champion one day. I don't think that's the case. And so I kind of like the dog money on Petrosian right now. It's not like he has that rackage underdog money, but I think that this is going to be a really close fight. Am I crazy, Grant, or do you feel like Petrosian could pull the small upset?
Uh, I agree with you that it should be close, but no, I have to go with Magomedov here. Phenomenal striking, phenomenal kicks, struggles with the wrestling. I don't disagree with you that it could be a close fight, but I do think he will get the job done. I think the number one thing that people are missing, I fought in Abu Dhabi when I was 26, something like that, where no sleep didn't, hurt me. Nothing. I could eat McDonald's every single day, still make weight and still train when I was much younger. So, and it was tough fighting there. It was really, really tough fighting there. And I think, him having that home field advantage, being used to that time schedule, I think that's going to help him a lot. I'm with you. I'm not very high on this guy. I don't think he's going to be a champion. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even think he's going to break the top 15, but I do think he is going to win this fight.
Okay. All good points that he just made. Greg, do you agree?
Petrosian's my pick for this one, and that's my parlay of all the undefeated fighters except for Murphy, who has a no contest on the record. But yeah, this is my three-way parlay. Petrosian, I'll take him with Whitaker and Holloway as my big money payout. A lot of chances. Only way to find out is to find out tomorrow night. But yeah, I got Petrosian.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I could flip a coin. I could go either way here, I guess. I'm probably going to stay away from it from a betting perspective. But Grant, you kind of convinced me to lean towards Magomedov, so I'll take Magomedov just for the heck of it. One fight I wanted to get your take on, guys, on the undercard: Jeff Neal, RDA. Grant, you already talked a little bit about RDA earlier. He is number 15 right now in the division. He is much older. He's not the same guy that he used to be. You alluded to him losing this fight. Do you think it's competitive, or do you feel like Jeff Neal is just going to be too big, too strong, too fast in there?
Yeah, I don't think RDA will ever be in a fight that he's not competitive in. I think you could throw him in a fight with John Jones, and is he going to win? Absolutely not. But he is very competitive. He's very well rounded. I think that other than Charles Oliveira and Ilia Topuria, I think he's one of the most well rounded guys in the division. He's phenomenal wrestling, phenomenal cardio, gritty, tough, super, super freaking durable. I love RDA. RDA was one of my favorite fighters for years. I love watching RDA fight. Wanted him to be champion again. I think people think I'm a little mad at him because he's in the rankings. The only thing I don't like about RDA is he's up, he's down, he's up, he's down. I'm talking about weight classes, not fights. Up, down, up, down. You pick a weight class and let some of the younger guys fill that spot into the rankings, let them get that notice. But no, I do think Jeff Neal's the younger man, the more explosive, the bigger, the stronger. I do think that Jeff Neal is going to get this win. I think it'll be very close. I could see it being a decision. I don't think that RDA gets finished. I do think that he's just going to be one step behind Jeff Neal. I hate MMA math. Absolutely despise it. Makes no sense whatsoever, but I'm going to use it right now. RDA lost to Luque. Luque got destroyed by Jeff Neal. I think we're going to see that playoff. Jeff Neal for the win. Unanimous decision.
I'm big on Jeff Neal. He's one of my locks on this card. Greg, do you feel the same way?
Yeah, 3 for 3, man. Younger, strong. Yeah, it has something to do with it, Definitely. So yeah, I'm going with Jeff Neal.
All right. Grant, you did say that there was one fight on the undercard that the odds are bonkers. And so tell me, what is it? Because I've been trying to look at it and I have a guess, but why don't you tell me what it is?
I want to hear your guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when I look at Kennedy Njoku minus 900 and Chris Barnett plus 600, that stands out to me. I mean, I know they're vastly different in size, and if you just look at that and the reach that Kennedy has, he should definitely win that fight. But I feel like the odds should be closer. The other one would have to be Basharat and Hugo Silva. I mean, minus 800 versus plus 550. I'm wrong. So what is it? What's the fight that stands out?
Look at it one more time.
Rebecca.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That
Matus.
Rembetsky. Look, I get it. I understand why these guys are saying he's going to lose. But I believe correct me if I'm wrong, plus 250? Is that?
Plus 250. That's right.
Plus 250 for 19-2 Mateusz Rembetsky. That's insane. Not to mention, I do not know how to pronounce the guy he's fighting. I know who he is. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Can you please pronounce it for me?
Orlabai.
Orlabai. Had an extremely close fight with a striker in his last fight. Rembetsky, I train with this dude. Look, the guy can wrestle. Credit is given where credit is due. That guy can wrestle. He can strike. He's put on way better performances than this other guy. I think it's absolutely insane that people think that he is that big of an underdog. Could I see the other guy winning a split decision by laying on Rembetsky's back for, 2.5? Sure, I can see it. But to think that Rembetsky is going to get destroyed in this fight, because that's what those odds are saying. You're saying that Rembetsky does not have a chance. He absolutely has a chance. Phenomenal wrestling, really, really explosive, aggressive striking, insanely hard to hold down. I think he's going to get this win. I really do. If the odds were, again, I'm not betting. If the odds were closer, I wouldn't be so upset about it. But if I were allowed to bet, I would put quite a bit of money on Rembetsky to get this W.
Now, can Elle bet? She can bet. She's not in the UFC, right?
No, because technically coaches aren't even allowed to bet. Technically, I mean, I don't even think anybody really cares. I shouldn't bet anyway, because I don't have the money to be betting on stupid fights. But no, she can't bet. I wanted to put Rembetsky and who was the other underdog? Whitaker in a parlay, and I just for fun, I looked to see what it would pay out. Insane money. I wish I could bet, because I would absolutely put that in a parlay. I think Rembetsky is getting a lot of hate for losing to a really good guy. Mm-hmm. A really, really good guy. Diego Ferreira does not get enough credit. He is a good fighter, a very unique style to have to deal with. Rembetsky has dealt with every wrestler that he's seen. I think Rembetsky's going to get this done.
Okay. Well, you convinced me. I'm going to put a parlay in.
I'm going to go a step further, and I think that Rembetsky might get the finish.
Okay. Wow. Well, I mean, I kind of knew. I had a feeling. I mean, it's going to be the ATT guy that you were talking about the odds. But I was looking at the undercard because I was trying to figure out how many ATT fighters are on this card, and I can't keep it straight who's in the gym and who's not. It's like a revolving door of absolute animals that you guys have week in and week out. So is that the only ATT fighter on the undercard here?
I think there's a 35er. Is that this week? I think there's a 35er that him and his twin, or not twin, but him and his brother just joined.
Basharat.
Is that this week?
Yeah. Farid Basharat.
Yes, he's on there as well. He's on our team. Really cool guy, anime nerd like myself. Me and him click. Me and him vibe. Cool guy. He let me borrow his shoes the other day.
Okay. So is Mike?
That's a true story. I forgot my shoes for strength and conditioning, and I was so upset, and like. He was like, what's wrong? I was like, I forgot my shoes. And he's like, do you have socks? And I was like, yeah, I forgot my shoes. And he goes, I got you, bro. And I was like, oh, what a guy. So, yeah.
You guys wear the same sneaker? Same size?
Yeah.
What size do you wear?
10.5.
Hey, I wear 10.5. What size dogs you got, Greg?
13.
Oh, it's big.
Big man on campus.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. Sorry. I'm telling the truth, man.
You know what they say about guys with big feet?
You can bounce a quarter off my no, never mind.
I was gonna say they wear big shoes, but that works too.
Yeah, they got big shoes, right? Big shoes to fill.
Well, Grant, I really appreciate you taking the time to join us today to obviously recap your recent win and talk about UFC 308. You said you're going to be watching it at Moicano's house on Saturday. Is that accurate?
I think we're getting together at Moises's, actually. I think we're all Moises just bought a house. So congratulations to Tiago Moises and his family. So I think we're all watching it at their house. But I just texted him tonight, and he hasn't texted me back yet. So maybe the plans got changed. I don't know. But I should be seeing him this weekend.
Cool, man. Cool. Well, as always, brother, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Please come back and join us for this podcast in the future.
Yeah, I'd love to, man. Just let me know when.
Very good. Greg, you got anything for Grant before we get out of here today?
Yeah, I just wish you the best of luck in the going forward, man. And I love your breakdown of everything. You like my crystal ball tells me you're going to be like in the UFC when your career after you get your championship and you're done with your career, 15 title defenses, you're going to transition to the booth, to the TV. I mean, you seem like a great guy. I love the genuine. I agree with you. You got to be genuine, you got to be real, and I love the positivity, everything about it, man. Says really good things. So I really wish you the best. I'm glad I got to meet you on this today.
Thank you, man. That means a lot to me. It really does. So I appreciate it.
All right. I echo everything that Greg said, my man. All right, Grant. As always, man, it's a pleasure. Look forward to the next time. Enjoy the fights, guys, and we'll talk to you soon.
Awesome. Take care, guys.